Welcome everybody to the first Royal Code Roast, where we really take to task a code base and uh, we are in fault finding mode. But really, it's a learning exercise. So we have our forums, as you are all aware, and you must have connected. We have our forums on various social media, uh, right from LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook to Discord, and our main channel for exchange is Discord. And we see a number of exchanges there. It is very meaningful and very uh, you know enlightening many times to look at the answers and variation of thoughts. And that is something that gave us the idea of looking at a code base by ourselves here in person, so that we can exchange and there is much better communication and much deeper exchange of thought, where we can spare some time and we look at the code uh, and learn from it, and also add our own to how you would do differently and improve. So we had shared the repository link with you previously, at least a week before or more, and I hope you guys were able to at least open it and check it out. Yes, what do you think, guys? Irrespective, I'm going to share the
Yes.
code base. I'm going to share the code base, and I have opened the GitHub repo here of the audio streamer. Uh, I have the flashy flyer invite, and you know what? I wanted to show to you my desktop. My desktop image would look like this, which is how we want to do the code review today. Just roast it hard. Okay.
Yes,
So
try to do that.
yes. So we need very active participation from all of you. We need all your thoughts, inputs, and various ideas with this good sized code base, where it is not doing too less. It's not just one file of 100, 200 lines. It is several files, and it is actually achieving some functionality. I've even compiled it and run it, but I think I can our request Vedant to quickly present the code base.
Yeah. Do you want me to share the screen, or I can just explain in?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So if you
Maybe
can
I'm
go
I'm
into,
already sharing. So
yeah, I will
if
just use your screen as a reference.
Yes, Vedant, you can ask Ankur to navigate, and you can
yeah,
guide him where you
Yeah,
want.
sure. So when you go into SRC,
you want to go to SRC.
Please, could you please share the link again in the text box?
Sure, I will share. Just give me a minute.
Okay, I just did that. So
Yeah.
when we
Okay.
go into
Thank you.
SRC, so first
Thank
of
you.
all, Vedant,
yeah.
what are we achieving here? We'll stay at this
Uh,
page. We'll
yeah.
talk about what
So
this code base does.
so there's a central server and there's a client. So let's say the server is running and multiple clients will connect to it. So once connected, it will send the song file, MP3 file to all its clients, and then it will just wait there doing nothing. Then when I press, like when I signal from the server to start playing, it will send a signal to the all the clients such that they will start playing a song, playing that song to all together.
Does it
So
actually
this is
play?
something
Yeah,
broadcasting
it
kind of thing.
does. No, not broadcasting. I didn't go that far. I just did it this in first year. So it just sent the MP3 file as a bulk, as a single like entity. It didn't stream it. and then it just sent a, I think, UDP or TCP signal that yeah, you need to play on the client.
Okay. So you know what? I've even compiled the code base at my end, and
Okay.
I can get it running. Although I have not played it, maybe I don't have the Python
Uh-huh.
that
Yeah,
is needed to
there's
play
some
or
issue.
something.
Like as far
Yeah.
as I remember, I didn't find anything to play a song in C++. So I used a Python script and then
Okay.
used system call to call it.
So somehow this window is not going away. I have to park this to the other screen as of now, and I can show the code working. So this is the server after compilation. This is the server, and I'm just giving to it some audio file. I don't think it matters that it's an audio file. Does it matter, Vedant?
No, no, it doesn't matter. You can send
Yeah, it
anything.
is just some file.
Yeah.
Okay, and I start the server here. Okay, so I just hit enter, and the server is initialized at local address port 9292. Okay, and I have another window here. This is where I'm going to try to connect to it. It has the same IP port, and I'm running the client. So this compilation results in client and server. And when I hit enter on client, I see that some hash is exchanged. You can tell us about it, Vedant. And
Yeah.
yeah, so please.
So the thing is, it will first hash the. It will create a kind of header to send. First, I think header at first part of the header has a hash. Then it has a file size. So first of all, it sends a file size so that the client can know actually how much it needs to receive. Because I don't think Boost has something like a free-ended function. Like it just keep on receiving till I receive some slash n or anything like that. I couldn't find something. So I first of all sent a header with the file size so that I exactly knew. And after that, I sent a hash of the file so that once I receive on the client side, I can know if it is the correct file or there has been some discrepancy while receiving it. So if the hash doesn't match, it will again ping the server to send the file again.
Okay.
So
How does it send the file again? Because now the client is connected, it has received all the bytes, and then there is no activity. How do I?
It won't do again because the hash matched, right? If the hash didn't match, it will.
Okay.
Uh,
And
one question I have here, Vedant, for you.
Yeah.
When you are collecting this hash at server and you are sending it to client, right? So are you matching that hash in at client side?
Yes. I'm matching that. It's like I received the hash from the server, then I will hash the data that I received from the server, and then I will match both of them.
Okay, so that comparison you are doing here. Okay.
Yes.
So
okay, all
I
right.
think
And so I guess you just need to kill the client here. And if you start again, one more time, the same server is going to be able to send. And I don't see this one updated though. Okay. Okay, and I can kill this client and I can start another client, and one more time you see that the server is sending the same file. In all cases, it is just always the same file, right?
Yeah, it is just the same.
So in Indian terms, it's just playing इस root की सभी लाइनें व्यस्त हैं, right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So
I think Amya has one question here: how to play these audio files? So in this project, Amya, Vedant have used some Python scripts for playing. So I think Vedant can tell about that library what he used
I
for
have
playing that.
mentioned it on GitHub. It's Piglet and some PYGLET.
yeah,
You
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 have
need
this.
to
Yes,
install
so
it,
that,
and also libavbin. It needs to be installed.
Okay.
yes, so
And sorry
Piglet
guys,
is a
I have not.
Python
Okay,
library actually.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was going through the code base, thread handler.cpp to be exact, and I realized. Oh yeah, never mind, please. Never mind. I've seen what I was going to ask. Sorry,
Okay.
it's gone.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. You might need your old friend, pen and paper to note down. Okay, fine, good. So Vedant, very quickly about the code, or should I present the code part, or?
Like, can you actually show that it plays on server first?
Sorry,
Can
open the
you?
server code.
No, just open the terminal where the server is running,
Yeah, I somehow have to minimize this too. Yes,
and then connect a client to it if possible.
sure. Yes, I have it.
Okay, so now can you type play on the server terminal?
On the server again, I thought there was a play something. I only tried it on the client
Press
side.
enter twice, I think,
Okay, yes.
and open the screen of the client. I think something will be. Okay. So it can play right now, but see, I mean, it was initiated because Python issue is there. It can't actually call the script, but the thing was initiated. If you can see, like if you open up two clients and then type play, you can see that the playing audio, the whatever that was printed, it will be
So you know
synchronized.
what? I'm not running it from the bin, and you have an assumption in the code that the playaudio.py is one directory up and in source.
Yeah,
So you
Yeah.
have a current working directory assumption. So
yeah.
I'll just do that. I do cd bin, and then I'll run the client with. Okay, let me just be lazy, and I do that.
So I think
And
here we need some check whether where this file is.
so I'm sure it is playing.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything, guys, but I did the play command there.
Yeah, I
So
think
it
it
got
is
the
running
file.
because there's no error message.
Oh, I'm
So
sure
have you
somebody's
pressed
listening.
enter twice? I think so. We need to press and enter twice.
I did.
Okay.
I did. One more time. So we don't see anything here this time because there is no error, or I don't know why there is no error, but that's the Python part, and Vedant can tell us about why there is no error, where I think
Yeah.
there should be an error.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Okay.
what happened right.
Okay, guys. So now it's time for the code, and I do that, and I'll try to open the code. No source file found. Uh, okay. So I had run this.
So you could do it in C. Like I pasted a command for cscope.
RBQ, thank you.
Yeah. So
Because I always, okay, what's wrong?
So it's already done. So okay, it will not launch the cscope. So if you want to launch, I think so you need to remove one of the parameters. And I think so you have to remove B. You have to keep the R and Q. The capital, sorry.
Sorry. Yay. I use this every day with a different option. And you're so used to your own thing. So we have server.cpp. Is that where we start, guys? I don't know what UDP server.cpp is, but this is where I started, right?
The UDP thing is not usable. I was going to integrate it, but I couldn't find it that time.
Okay.
You can ignore.
Okay, so very quickly, we are here to roast, but then we would already know a bit about the code. So there is a client manager which is instantiated, and a thread is started, which is detached immediately, and the thread is running send command of client manager, and then there is a manager.manage for the argv1. Okay. So anyway, I did put some of my comments here, but you can ignore those and you can tell me yours. Are you getting it? So this is a client manager. I'll let's say, let me just go to send command function. This is the client manager send command. Okay, we gave nothing to client manager in its constructor, so it would just do something default. Okay, it is using 127, the IP and the port. It's visible, right, guys?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And then it gets here and it waits for some character, and then it gets into the socket part, and for all the sockets, it writes it writes some. So once it gets a character. So can you explain this part,
Sorry, can you repeat?
Vedant? What is this send command doing?
Line number. I don't see your cursor.
Send command. What is this function doing?
Okay. Just a minute. Okay, so this sends that play command.
Okay.
When I type play twice, it will send it to all clients. So I'm iterating through the socket buffer, that socket vector that I had. Socket vector means if multiple clients are presented, I will iterate through them and send them the play thing one by one.
Uncle, can you enable line number?
Okay, sorry. I know what you mean. Yeah. So, quick question here, Vedant. It is pushing the file already, right?
This is the play command. Like I told you, it will send the file and wait there until all clients are connected, and then it will send a signal to start playing. So this is sending the signal.
So I thought so far you introduced the code base as a code which is supposed to play the file. Now you have a synchronized play between many clients.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. Like it will wait. Like some clients will connect, and then it will just wait there until it gets a signal from the server. So I mean that's the point of the whole project, as in that's the point of the whole project, like synchronous music server, like all the elements will play in sync.
Okay. Okay.
From the look of things, I see command being written into on line 31. cin.get line into command 5 characters, but it doesn't seem like the command the value is used at all. Or am I wrong? I mean, you iterate through the sockets, write a specific and hard coded command to the socket, but it doesn't seem like the variable command is used other than to read into it, unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think there was some reason for doing that. Just a minute, let me think.
If I get this code correctly, it's supposed to read a user command, then send that user command over the buffer. But right now, I think that was.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't know any way to like let me know that some key has been pressed. So that is why you need to press enter twice. So getChar takes the play function and play whatever I write on the terminal, and also takes the dash n. Then if I do getChar, then I would know that something has been. It is very hacky method.
Okay. So Vedant, I guess it could be much simpler, and you just take the command and then obey the command right there in that same if. Y is another enter needed.
Yeah, it's not needed.
I see here like while loop you are using, right? I think it is not necessarily required here, I guess, because you are just sending the play button, play buffer to each of these sockets. Vector. I think
Uh, yes,
I'm
yes,
back.
yes.
I'm back,
It
right?
is. It is like if I end one session of playing and then I want to again want to send a new signal. That is why I put a while one there.
like I see after the for loop there is a break
Uh-huh.
actually. Like it breaks the while loop, right?
Yes, yes, it does.
So in that case, like it will not serve the while loop purpose, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. I guess it was in bad taste in putting that.
So, Ankur, can we add some comments here? Whatever everyone is giving for reference. I think you have this in local.
Yes, I do. But I was not able to follow. What was the comment?
Okay, Sekhar, can you repeat your point?
Something about
Point
the
was
loop.
like Ankur, if you can see like the while loop, like it is a infinite loop, while one, and you like he was doing two times get char. That's why we have to give twice the enter. For first enter, it takes the first line. After you first line of play, and the second enter, it takes the second if condition. That is just only traversing to the sockets vector, and it is sending right play as a right buffer for a particular socket. So
Right. So is
itself
that what
like
you are saying?
yeah, I'm
The
saying like
second
while
get char is not needed, right?
yes, while loop itself is not needed in this case because once the while loop is completed, it is getting break actually. Like means break
Oh,
breaking
of
out
course.
of the while loop.
Of course, it's unconditional.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay, right.
So you can add this while loop itself is not required.
Yeah.
Line 25.
Okay, sure.
And to get the character, what is means after enter, can't we do this play
Yeah, you
instead
can
of
do that.
having another enter?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I think so. Okay.
So
Uh,
this line
uh,
number 34, which you already wrote. That's it.
yeah, which I had already put. Okay. Uh,
There
And
is one
one more thing,
Samiran is saying. Yes, yes, second.
more thing actually like he's taking a command actually. He's not checking whether the command is play or something else. Whatever the
yeah,
value is written,
yeah.
he's just sending a
All
play
right.
actually. Which
So I
shouldn't
think I think here some type check should also be there. That what command
here
is there.
whatever
Command
the
is not
user
checked.
has inputted, I have to be
Okay.
checked.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that check is also required.
Okay,
And
guys.
Samiran
And
is suggesting to why is the comment I plus plus not suggested and plus plus I suggested?
yeah, that's the standard way that you do it. Usually, when you increment, you do the pre-increment, unless you really need the original value even after incrementing. Okay, so you need those in some cases, but otherwise, you would normally use a pre-increment. It's just a convention. And in this place, it is a convention because you're not using either of the values, pre or post. But usually, you won't stop and read as to why it is in a certain way. And in fact, we can convert this entire for into a range for, which would look like this. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not there. So it would look like this for, I don't know if it is const, I don't think it is. So we say auto and socket in sockets SC, and then the same loop works, right? Instead of this one.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so I'll just comment that. and I guess write some may or may not work. Okay, this is something that I know by looking into Boost call. It says write some. You don't know how many has been written, so you don't even know if this command has gone successfully or not. And we have no error handling here, no checking here in this at this part. And I don't know if we have any error checking anywhere else where we are writing the file. So I think that
it's not there.
that's something that we should always have. Like, what if things go wrong?
Right.
With networking, you are never sure that what you ask for will happen. Okay.
Right.
So there are two ways. Either this throws an exception and it gives you back how many bytes it actually wrote. So it successfully wrote, but n bytes, which is less than whatever. We all know that it is a very small buffer and it can entirely go, but there is no guarantee of that. Okay. So we should have that.
Yeah.
And do something useful with it. But I would like to bring back the focus to something that we saw in the main. Okay, I need to save it before I exit. In the main, we saw a client manager. Okay, so as per coding guidelines, manager word conveys what to you?
Something which manages.
Managers means what? What do managers do? Nothing. Pardon the joke, but you know, manager conveys nothing, really.
Okay.
If you hear the good practices, you should not use the word manager. And we see there is a function called as manage. Who can tell me, other than Vedant, who can tell me what manage does? It was on the screen for the last half an hour also.
Right. So I think I
don't
can
know.
suggest that instead of client manager, it can be client handler, because it is going to handle all the clients.
Yeah.
And instead of manage, I don't know what this manage function is doing.
Even
exactly.
handler is not good. You should actually
Yeah.
say what you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe it's just a streamer, or you have to think of something, right? So it is just a streamer. So it
Correct.
or maybe a
Client sync
connection
handler, something like
connection acceptor, or maybe I don't know. So I guess it is doing two different things. Okay, it is sending the command, and apart from the command which this guy is sending, client manager, it is doing in manage. It is very small. So in manage, it waits to accept the client, right?
that. Yeah.
And it
right.
gets back a socket.
Yeah.
And with the socket, it is keeping it in the vector, right?
Yes,
and also
yes.
starting the handle, which is
Like
really
Send the file.
yeah. What is the handler, by the way? It's a member.
Okay.
It's a member.
Jana Kiraman, he has some question. Yeah.
Janaki Raman.
Yeah, I do. Can you also show the header file? I think.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that.
At this point, I would do.
Split the screen.
Oops.
Angur,
Where is client manager? In client.hpp? Client handler. Okay. The file name is okay. Sorry, I got confused. Because the file name is called as client handler.hpp and the object is client manager. So that's a feedback as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it evolved during implementation. So both are not good names. Dheeraj, I differ with you. Okay.
one more
Okay, fine. Yes. Okay.
naming perspective, one more thing, like instead of client manager send command, I think it is, you can rename as send command to send play, send play. Yeah, play.
Yeah, I agree that name is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I have to change it.
And then
Yeah,
you
so
will have
send
to-
command. What does send command do? When you send, say, I send a courier to you. I need to hand something to you.
Yeah.
And this guy is taking nothing, no argument. So really, it's not your send command. And obviously, you know it's your run loop. It's your run loop. So you might as well call it run, right?
Okay.
It doesn't come back out of it till it is all done, right?
Uh-huh.
Or maybe you don't need that run loop actually inside this class in some way. But yeah,
Like it needs to access the vector of sockets, so it's better to keep it inside the class.
right. Why do we have a vector of sockets?
Because it needs to send the command to all the connected clients. So I mean, I just kept a vector of the sockets which are connected to the clients, multiple clients.
So I'll just show. I'll just open the thread handler also, because we have thread handler on line 11 there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just do that. src thread handler dot cpp. I'll open HPP. Okay. So this is the thread handler. It has a vector of shared pointer of threads. Okay. So is it a thread pool? It's just a set of threads. So it is just a wrapper over the vector, right? It's just a vector.
Yeah.
Okay. But you have a shared pointer of threads.
Yes. So
Okay.
much. The same reason I did a vector of sockets, same reason I'm doing this.
So who else has the thread? This guy doesn't have thread. This guy just has the thread handler. Okay, client manager. And so this is this shared with anybody else? Is this shared with anybody else? Or?
No, it is not.
So you don't need a shared pointer. You could do with less logic in there and less dynamic memory. You could just have why unique? Why even a pointer? How about this? I propose this.
Well, actually, back then when I was like trying to do this, it didn't work with non-point. It didn't work with simple objects, and mostly I referred to code from the PostACO book, and then it used threads. It used pointers, so I used pointers. That's
okay.
My explanation why I did this.
Okay. Okay, right. So maybe this is true for STD thread, but for boost thread we need to find out, right? I've just commented it out.
Yeah.
But what is the purpose of this thread?
Purpose as in it will start the send. It will send the file in separate thread.
Right. So it does a start handle, okay, and that does a file transfer, right?
Yeah. You can open threadhandler.cpp.
I did that on the right side. Okay. So this is the thread handler.start handler, exactly what you see here. Okay. Here you create a new thread. Okay, we talked about this.
Yeah, and then it calls the client handler function in it.
Yeah. If you're detaching, why are you holding on to the thread?
Yes. I remember reading somewhere if I detach, I cannot actually stop the thread. But yeah, I didn't know how to do that, so I just put some makeshift thing.
So all threads are detached. So
yeah,
again,
then I can control them.
We need a logic discussion on a thought as to why it is being detached, or do you need to hold on? Which of the two is the real truth? Do you need this thread?
I also want this answer because see what I wanted to do is somehow wanted to store the threads also, so that some end time in future I can actually ask the threads to stop and shut down the program. But then I think I read somewhere if I detach it, I cannot do that. So I couldn't find a way to solve this problem, so I just kept it detached and did nothing. So as you can see, I commented that code below, stop handle.
Yeah.
I was working on it, but then just left it because I couldn't find anything that worked actually.
What was the other thing that you tried? Can you repeat that part?
As in thread, I wanted to stop the threads, but then I read somewhere that I cannot stop it if I detach it.
Yeah. So anybody has an answer or suggestion for how to stop threads?
I think you don't want to detach, you can just join the thread.
Janaki Raman. It's not clear and not to
I,
me.
can you hear it? Can you hear it now? Okay,
Yeah, better.
I think basically if this is a client, I don't see why you should detach the thread. Maybe like if you are sending that in a thread, you can still hold the thread. And then when your client manager actually stops, like when it exits, you should try to join the thread. And basically it's like you have a vector of, I'm sorry, yeah, in your thread handler you have a vector of those threads, right? So basically your thread handler lifetime will be there for your entire client program. That's what I think. So you should try to, the lifetime of the thread handler will be more like the entire program. And when the thread handler dies, like when the district of the thread handler is called, you should try to join the thread. Uh, so so basically it's like, okay, all the process is completed, and then you should, because when you detach a thread, you don't know, you may exit the main tool, and you still maybe have something that is more like a leftover or something. So since this is a client, this is fine.
Yeah.
In fact, if sorry about that. If I were to write this, I would just. I don't think, in my opinion, and Vedant, you can take a call, and everybody else can pitch in. You don't need a thread. All you need is std async with that function, whatever function you have. Client handle. I'm sorry. Handler func. Okay. And you pass to it name and sk.
One thing, all these sockets are UDP sockets or TCP? I think I
TCP
missed.
socket.
TCP sockets.
These are TCP sockets. Okay.
As you said, like you are correct actually. Basically, like he is verifying in the client side whether he's received file correctly or not. So, but he is not sending anything like the client has.
Acknowledgement is not there.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement. There is no
So how
acknowledgement. That is
how
required.
can he will be synchronous actually? First of all, if
Yes.
he send for every client to play, but client he don't know whether the client received correct file or not.
No,
But
it is there
he
in
was trying
client
to.
handle. It
And
is there in the client handle function.
Okay.
no, that
Yes,
acknowledgement side part is, I think, not there. Once client
yes.
receives, I don't see that. Once client received all file, complete file, it is sending some acknowledgement to server that, okay, I received this file. Now you can play. I think that acknowledgement is not here, because nowhere you are checking whether all clients are connected or not, and there is no limit how many clients you want to connect.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is required, because once you will start playing, so if let's say once some client connected and you send that file and there is some network lag to one client, and it is taking longer time to download, so that will not sync. That scenario means 3 clients will start earlier and 1 client will start later. I
In
hope
fact,
I'm
guys,
clear.
yeah. Uh, uh, in my opinion, this could have been implemented a little, pretty differently. For example, like we have in main, see there are some issues, other issues which I want to bring to your notice is this client manager is constructed here, and what does it do? Nothing really, because it doesn't have the data. It is doing an init on NM, which is something called as network manager, and that part I have not seen before. But I'll quickly hazard looking into it right away. Network manager. So we have network manager. Okay, it's not going into the H file. So this is the network manager which has the IO service and an endpoint, and that's it. And so there is one network manager for every connection. Is that right? No, there's one network manager in the entire system.
Hmm.
Yeah, sorry about
Multiple, that vector for multiple vector of sockets.
that. Yeah. So what I think is there is an a construction and initialization split in your code because you are creating the client manager here, but it is not fully ready. It is not ready to communicate. If you call send command on it, it will not work because it doesn't know the file, right? So if you see send command can be called on it, but don't you expect that manage happens first? Because send command will try to send play uh,
No, but
to the other party.
it will wait till it gets a input from the keyboard.
Yeah, so if I immediately give the input, then it will
Then
give play to
that's a fault.
everybody, right?
There's a
So
fault in the.
when a man is involved, there will be mistakes or
Ah.
the issues. So and so I guess I would say this client manager should be renamed to a, let's say, a client streamer, and it
Yeah.
should not be possible to create it without a file name. Okay.
Yeah.
I also saw that there is no check for a valid file name, so there is
Yeah.
that logic issue also, because I actually
Yeah.
ran it. I didn't have a file. I didn't have any audio file, and
Uh-huh.
so I don't know if it was sensitive that it needs an audio file, but I just gave some name, and it
Yeah.
worked, and it started doing things. Okay, it
Uh-huh.
even sent the header to the client. So it should not do that. That kind of handling should be there. Okay,
Yeah.
and if
File
you
name.
do these kind of things in the constructor, you don't have a return flag false or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to throw and handle the exception there.
There must be some other
So,
function to do that. Okay.
right. So either the object is constructed fully and it is ready to do its job, and or it is just not there. Exception happened. Now you cannot expect an object. It cannot be in that midway state. I would really strongly advise that
Okay.
it cannot be an object is created, but it is good for nothing till you call two more functions on it,
Yeah.
and then only it is usable, right? So that I would say it's classically it is called as instantiation and initialization split.
Yeah.
Okay, we should not have that in our code. It is against correct usage or accidental usage, right?
Yeah.
And the only reason we have socket here as a shared pointer and we are holding on to socket here in the client manager is because we want to send the command called as play.
Yes. Right.
This again is breaking abstraction, because if you see the socket vector is a private member of this. Obviously nobody else will have it, but of course you share it with the other thread which is also running the file transfer with it.
Yeah. Fine. Right.
So
Right.
you have privates, but privates are shared. Okay,
But,
so
but that thread object is a member of their class, right? Thread handler is a member of the class.
yeah, so why do you need his privates? Sounds bad to hear, but that's how I want to actually put it. Why do you need to hold on to somebody else's private? Right?
Yeah.
You hold on to the thread, and
Yeah.
clearly there is an abstraction problem also, because you are trying to do socket communication here by calling write sum
Yeah.
in the main thread, let's say, and you have the thread which is trying to send the bytes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then there is no synchronization also. So I send half the bytes and I send the play command, it will just interfere. And
Yeah.
there
This was that assumption that no one will do send the play command unless all plants are connected.
assumption, right? It's the root cause. Next root cause. It's one of the root causes, so can't be really a sole root cause. But assumption, we have a problem with that. Assuming that only a certain kind of usage will happen.
Yeah.
I have other points which I browsed through the code and found out. I can get onto those unless somebody else also wants to add or has a different opinion than mine.
I think next like relevant functions are in utils.cpp.
Here we have a stream buff and buffer stream taken from the file, okay? And you do the pico SHA-2 and you write the buffer. Okay, you take the file content. Okay, this was the function I wanted to get to. I guess I'm audible, right, guys?
Yes, yes.
Not frozen.
Yes.
Thank you for the feedback. Yeah. So here it picks the entire file content. It is in binary, but we have taken string from it. It worked well with the one file which I used, but does
It
somebody
works
know?
well with many files. I mean, string. I honestly, this is not my code. I searched a lot on the internet and found this ideal way to read a file as a read a file and store it as a string.
Okay. Because your file is definitely not a string, and
But I can
that
still
raises
store
a
it as a
concern.
string, right?
Well, so are you sure that hash 256 hex string
Yeah, it is.
is not stopping at /0 somewhere in the middle, right?
No, it works as far as I know.
Okay. Okay, fine. Then maybe that is the case. But what I can say is definitely it may or may not be a problem with the function that you have used, but it definitely raises an understanding issue on what is expected. So you might as well be better off using unsigned char because you were at C++11. In C++17 we have a byte, and so the data type byte should be used here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And you have picked the entire file contents multiple times. You have opened it here and it closes here. Okay. Oh, by the way, okay, rdbuff you have streamed, right?
Yeah.
So what does rdbuff stream as? rdbuff gives a string stream? No, not a string stream. A stream buff, right?
Yeah, it I think just reads whatever. It reads the buffer as a single something like pointer. It just gives out a char.
Because when you said string stream, the output definitely is supposed to be a string. So I don't know if it is interpreting. Anyway, I'll drop that point. But the file content function is called multiple times.
Yeah.
In this function, 3 times we can see.
Yeah.
Once is for log, so we can ignore that one. But functionally, you have twice at least. So entire file is read twice, and for every client. Whereas it is just the same one file which you want to transfer. Why not just have it picked up once?
Yeah, good point.
System? And this could just be, and why is this? So this could just be a buffer that the client streamer, which we evolved from the current client manager, the streamer could just hold on to once, load once, and it is a const. So even if multiple threads, we have to make it a const. So even if multiple threads share it, they can all load the data simultaneously in their own cores and not have contention because they are all doing read only, right?
Yeah. So there can be something like a static file content, static string file content.
Yes, it will be highly optimized in that case. And you do this only at the instantiation of the client streamer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And pass on a const reference to every thread or every the function which is actually streaming, which is the file transfer function, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess if we just pass on the socket to this file transfer function, don't hold on to that in the main thread. We need some synchronization. And what's the way to synchronize between threads that all your n file transfers have happened or not?
Mutex.
Or semaphore. Or semaphore to do what? So what is the objective here? We want to know that n n clients have received the file successfully or not, right?
I think there's a bit of misunderstanding. I'm using threads because I don't want to wait. Like if three clients connect at the same time, I want to send the three files to them simultaneously.
Sure.
So that is why I use the thread. So and synchronization is not needed at this point. Synchronization is needed when I want to ask them to start playing it. Like it can act
Exactly.
sending.
So when the play command is issued on the main thread, it needs
Uh,
to tell to these threads that you can issue the
Stop
play
now.
command, whatever.
Okay.
See, what I'm saying is the sockets should not be held on to in the main thread.
Mm-hmm.
You create these threads and you pass the socket here in this function, right here, socket, and you lose it.
Yeah. Okay.
That way, since there is no sharing, no shared pointer is needed, it is all simplistic value based. I get a socket, I pass on the socket to this executing function.
Okay.
Okay, absolutely simplistic. Your newest team member will also understand that code without much hassle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your code, I have to really point out, it is very built in small functions and very to the point. I have to say that. So that being the case, this will add to the understandability of the code.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on accept of client, you just launch a thread, you pass on the socket to it, and you don't have any control of that socket.
Okay.
Then when you want to get the play command, you want to tell all the threads to issue the play command.
I will
Okay,
just
this is our
unlock
situation. Unlock a mutex, maybe, but
like I can have a
maybe
vector of mutex and then I can unlock it one level.
maybe Joshua has an opinion on this.
No, actually, no. Sorry, not that.
This would be a classic case for condition variable.
Sorry, I wasn't following at some point. I was
Okay.
trying to go through the code to see if it can be written in other context.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. So the point I was making was you just receive the socket on accepting a new client. You just pass it on to this worker, which is just going to push the file contents. And you need to know that all workers are done. To be correctly doing the play functionality, you need to wait for all the workers to be done. That is a communication you need from all those workers back. And now you need to issue the play command to each one of those. So the way to do it, I thought, was a condition variable. You just notify all on a condition variable.
I'm not sure what is the condition variable. Never used it.
Okay.
Okay, please, I do have a question though. Whenever a client connects to a server, the server sends the file to the client, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so when the client gets the file, it basically waits for the server to issue a command, or it automatically plays the file.
It waits for the server to send the command to play the file.
Okay, yeah, please go on. That's
So Ankur, if I understood correctly, so what you mean to say is we need not to hold sockets here. Each client thread will hold socket, and using condition variable, we can tell those threads that okay, now you start playing, right?
Yes, that was my point.
Okay.
And all you do is you just hold on to these threads which you have to create for every client. Okay. Maybe a job system can do it well. So currently Vedant is using C++ 11 and futures are not good even in C++ 20. But we need that continuation, right? Once the file is done, I want to issue the play command, right? This is what the thread wants to do. So if you if we get into this function, so this is a file transfer function here on the top left. Okay, this is a file transfer function. After you are done with all the writing, and you know that all write has been done. So by the way, you are not checking that data bytes has actually written all the bytes. But is this assured, Vedant? Will this come back only if all bytes are written as you write?
I think it is. I don't remember exactly, but I think I should have added a while loop to check if it actually data.
No.
Data
So
bytes
you need to
less
look
than-
at the documentation. Maybe it does all the bytes. And it would throw an exception if it gets into a bad socket or any other
Okay.
system reason. Okay.
Okay.
So you need to be able to handle the exception there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there should be an exception. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it can be an assured write function. So what I was saying was, after this write and after doing all the checks that it has fully written, I would say you should just here on wait for a condition variable start start playing, right?
I think condition variable is semaphore in C++.
Yeah. So we have a std condition variable. So we should have in the design, we should have a condition variable to start playing, and also a condition variable to say I'm not a condition variable. Maybe an atomic to say I am done. So there is some global, unfortunately. So atomic done count should be incremented. Okay. Are you able to visualize what I'm saying? So let's say this somewhere in global space. Somewhere in global space you have atomic of int. Okay, std atomic, of course, which is named as atomic done count. Okay, you start with 0.
Yeah.
And all the threads increment this, and this is what the main thread should keep on checking. When it gets the play command, it should block on whether all counts are done or not.
Yeah.
Better approaches are welcome. And of course, there is an std condition variable which is named as start play. Okay, and of course, with the condition variable, you also need a mutex in order to handle the condition variable. So start command mutex. Okay, and so the main thread, I guess you need to pass the mutex here or something like this, but you're getting a sense. So the condition variable is what this guy waits on, and the main thread should launch all the threads and then just wait for the play command. Once it receives the play command, it checks that it is actually PLAY and not hello. Okay, in the main thread. So I'll just save this and my code will stop compiling now. But if you see here in the main thread, you just check that it is play here. Let's say you checked.
It was not needed, I guess.
Yeah. I'll just let that be. So you check that it is a play command, and then I think you should here, after you're done with checking the play command, all you need to do here, let's say check that play is issued. Okay, and post that you do condition variable start play dot notify underscore all. Right? Are you with me?
Yeah, this is compact and efficient to do. Yeah.
But you can't just issue the command play all, because all may not have been done. So you need to check are all done. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if that's a yes,
Then
then
I
we
can
do
go
this.
forward. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and
Hmm.
are all done is going to block on that atomic variable. So let's say you have some function called as are all, I'm sorry, done,
Okay.
and this would look at that atomic variable start. What was the count? What was that?
I don't remember.
So we had an atomic int, right, on the other screen. Yeah, done count, atomic done count. So we say if atomic done count equal to what? We had the jobs, the number of threads that you ran, jobs.size. Once it matches that, which means all the threads have said that they are done with pushing the file contents, you say return true, or maybe this is just okay. Return that atomic done count is the same as job size, so all jobs are done. And here instead of,
But this is not blocking.
so yeah, we need to block here. So we say while not all are done, we have an empty body. So we wait. Okay. So this is an infinite loop while all are not done. And maybe,
Or you can do something like while all are all done and then break after that condition variable notify all. Like just it will run only once.
yeah. So that outer while we are not going to have. Is that what you're referring to?
No, I mean just keep that function notify all inside the while and put a break after that. So it will only be run once, and then when it does it will break, so it won't actually run twice.
Oh, so that actually we just get rid of the while. Okay.
No, I mean the yeah, that's fine too, but what I meant is while not are all done, I mean that while.
Yeah, that while actually, what I would,
So you,
this thread, you would say this thread colon
Mhm.
sleep,
Okay, yeah, that is fine.
maybe 1s. Okay.
Yeah,
You should not be busy waiting. You wait 1 second. And then when you notify all will go.
yeah,
Okay. And that is all I guess the server needs to implement, in my opinion.
yeah. Okay.
Right? And all those atomics either are internal here, or you need to share it with the other thread, right? So maybe you can pass a reference to those.
Yeah.
Better ideas always welcome, guys. Okay, you are able to see how it, in my opinion, how it can be a little different. And in fact, you can still have, you can still do async. You can still do async.
Yeah, I think I can. For
And
only for client
if
handler.
yeah, async is not going to return anything. It is just a job which runs, and you don't want to manage it. You don't even want the thread handle at your end, right? The less you yourself have to do, the better it is. One thing which I like about your code, you have not done bits and bytes yourself. You have not done the socket API. You have used Boost and various facilities to actually achieve things, which is good.
Thanks.
Amir, any other thoughts, or how would you have done? Janaki Raman?
Could you please change the second screen to the previous code we were trying to. The second screen, this include thread angler.hpp. I'm not really sure the name of the file. Thread angler.cpp. Could you please replace it with the previous code so we could see where you declared the atomic and the mutex?
Okay, yes, sure.
So we could see both
so you want to
codes
go to the
hand in
util?
hand.
Yeah, there I am. This is a CPP file?
Yeah, exactly. I just want to follow both codes at the same time.
I didn't follow that last line.
What I'm saying is the screen on the right should be atomic int where you declare the global variables. Then you can keep doing your reviews on the left. So we could follow both hand in hand.
Okay.
So the one on the right is what we have on the left. Then the one on the left should maybe be the one with the while loop and the while not done
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah, sure, yes.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah. I have managed in both. I think we are talking about two. Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Sorry about that. Yes, I was wasting real estate. So main does nothing, as should be the case. Most of the application functionality should be in small pieces here and there, in their own right, and main should just be invoking some of them. Real logic is not there, which I like in your code. It's not really there. It's all in some handed off functions. So if we see here, this one is actually super simplified. Yeah.
Yeah. So do we have more suggestions?
I think I saw something. I keep on losing my chat because I was dropping. I saw that hash include guards were not put. Somebody had mentioned.
Yeah. So Janaki Raman has actually mentioned that no hash of guards in any of the header files. And I mentioned that like I usually follow this practice that whenever I'm including header files, I tend to keep the base, like the whatever base I'm using first. Like so if I'm using from standard C++ library, those include header files, I'll include them first, and then I'll include my header files, whatever I'm using in my for the project. So that is what I usually follow.
Yeah.
Like here we are actually including our header files first before the system header files.
So you prefer it the other way?
Yeah. So it's actually something to do with some static objects, like static initialization. So if there is something in other library, so I usually keep it like this. I'll have the base library, so like the C++ standard library first. Then if I'm using any third-party library, then I'll include my header file. So that's the convention I follow.
Any other opinion?
I think I do the reverse.
Exactly. I think Google coding guidelines also say the reverse, or maybe even the CPP core guidelines. One of these two say the reverse of what you were saying. And the reason is because if you include the standard libraries first, and then you have your, let's say, my HPP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if there is some missing include in my HPP, because you included the standard header yourself by hand, you would actually end up covering up for that file's mistake. And suddenly you have to include things in a certain order, and those kind of things will pop up. So it is good not to provide anything to start with, and you include your own header files, and then you just include the standard headers afterwards, because you need them locally in this file right now. By the way, yeah, I think we need all of these, right? IOStream is not needed here, so it should only be included in the CPP file.
Yeah.
I don't see any cursors also being used in cursors API.
Yeah,
so-
cursors, yeah. Cursors, maybe it is just a leftover of
I
something
think it
that
was
they
for
have.
getchar.
Yeah.
I had used getchar function.
Oh, getchar from cursors.
I think so. It should be from C, like stdio or something.
So the way I saw the code was we could eliminate all shared pointers. Be absolutely value based. Keep it simple with the object fully created or fully not created. Okay, with the function names better and telling you what they are doing. I had some silly ones here, are all done, but at least it tells you exactly what you're doing there. Or maybe you could get better. We could really leverage async and just let that function do its own job. Okay,
Thanks.
and then error handling was not there. Please do include it. There are certain exceptions which would just escape and nobody would catch it. You would enter terminate. I also see that in main you have called std_exit function, which is exit without cleanup. And generally I would say it's not advised, because if you have any global state, it would be initialized but not released.